firstly, whenever you want to conduct a case search or whenever you want to conduct a search itself, you would have to, you can type in a case name into the red box over here. So for this example, I will be using the case name of. Okay, now before I continue on here, one thing to note is that whatever you see here on my screen, everything that you see here on my screen is provided to me by my company account. So that means that whenever you access your Lexis Advance, not everything that you see here would be the same as per your access. Okay, so let me continue on here. So as I was saying, whenever you want to conduct your legal research, you can type in a case name. So in this situation, it will be CIMB law. And as you type in your case name, you would see that there would be a drop-down list of suggestions. So when you see a drop-down list of suggestions, if you do see a case that you are looking for within this drop-down box, all you need to do is basically click on it and click on search. And afterwards, you will be immediately brought to the case document that you are looking for. Okay. So once when you're brought to your case document that you're looking for, from here onwards, you can then continue on your research as well. Now, before I get into what you can do with the document that you're looking for, let me show you what are the other ways of looking for a case. So another way when you want to conduct your own case search, you can also type in a case citation. So what do I mean by this is, let me show you. 2019, it's a case citation example. Okay, again, as you type in your case citation, and for this example, I'm using this one here. So if, for example, the drop-down box would also appear as well if you were to type in your case citation. Now, in this situation, if you don't see any of the citation that you are looking for, that's okay as well. You can ignore it. And all you have to do is simply click on the magnifying glass. And from there onwards, you will then be brought again to the case document that you are looking for. Is that okay so far? So just to recap, you can conduct your case searches on the red box, either via using case name, or you can use the case citation. Okay, so those are the two ways in which you can conduct a case search. So afterwards, let me see what else can I do here. Okay, so another thing about the red box, is that it is also equipped with a semantic parsing capabilities. What I mean to this as in, let's say, for example, if you were to type in a simple sentence or a type of question, you will be able to type it into the red box here, and you will be able to find the results from there as well. So I believe in this example, let me see what is the best example I can give. Let me try a simple one. Damages. Okay, so this is the example I'm using. What are the damages of breach of contract? With the semantic parsing capabilities, what will happen is that the AI will do more than just look for cases that has the highest mention of these individual search terms. What it will do is that it will look for the results, or it will look for the cases that is closest to the intended meaning of this query. Okay, so let me try to click on search so you can see what happens. Okay, so as I've already clicked on search, this would be your result page itself. What happens now is that the AI has already identified as to which of the words that were used in this sentence. Let me click here to show you which of the words that is used in this sentence, and it will then highlight, or it will then assign a color tagging to the legal terms that it finds in this particular sentence. So what I mean by this is, let's say, for example, damages for breach of contract. In this example, it is saying that damages for breach of contract, it is a legal term, or the or most of the cases are discussing this as a legal term. And what happens is that any one of the simple languages appearing here, it has removed those languages as it is not needed in the search that you are conducting. Okay, this is the first example, damages for breach of contract. Another one, let me open up a new page to show you. Another way you can do it, you can also search based on the legal issues as well. So what I mean by this is, let's say, for example, I'm going to use the same example, but without it being in a sentence form. So let me break it up. Images. So what I'm doing here is that I am using open inverted commas. This is what we call a terms and connector. And just by using the terms and connectors, I am basically telling the AI that I want to look for results that solely discusses on the word damages, and it also solely discusses on the legal issue of breach of contract. So what happens now is that I'll click on search. Okay, and as you can see on my screen right now, the AI will then assign a color tagging to the terms that you have added in here, and each and every one of these color taggings here will then correspond with what we call a search term map. So let me scroll through here one more time. Okay, so as you can see over here, so first you'll see the case results as well as the contents of the case, and then this will be the area in which I was referring to as a search term map. Now, what I mean by this is that this basically allows you to have this search term map here allows you to have a preview of the cases or of the case document without for you to have to open and read the full entire case. What happens now is that this basically helps you to have a much more efficient search for the case document that you are looking for. Okay, so this would be how the search term map would do, and this is how the semantic parsing will work with regards to what you are searching for. Okay, so give me one moment here to admit the other participants here. Okay, so other than all of the features that are shown to you on this page here, I would like to direct your attention to your contents on the left-hand side over here. So as I was mentioning mentioned this in the beginning, what you are seeing here may not reflect your access to Lexis Advanced. This is because what I'm using is a company access. Okay, so just in case, in a situation where if you have any one of these access over here, for example, if you have any one of the access, you'll be able to switch to a different country. That way you'll be able to view the, the results from that particular country itself. Okay, all you have to do is simply just by clicking on the flag, then you'll be able to view them. All right. Other than that, if you do not have this feature, that's okay. You can forget about what I have mentioned in earlier. So another thing about your content filtration would be that based on what you have searched for prior, you would be able to filter out your content based on the cases, legislation, secondary materials, as well as the forms and precedents. Okay, this is how you'll be able to filter out the content. Let me click here to show you what I mean. If you only want to look at legislations that simply discusses what you have searched for, all you have to do is click on My Legislations. And from here onwards, you'll be able to conduct your research of the legislations based on what you have searched for. Okay, so this one will be for your content filtration. Let me go back to cases. So up next, other than your content filtration over here, you would still be able to narrow your results just by using the filtration over here. So what do I mean by this is, let's say, for example, if you would like to add an additional search term on top of what you have searched for. Let's say, for example, in this situation, damages, breach of contract, and let's say if you want to add in maybe exclusion clause, you can do so as well, and you click on search. What happens then is that the results will then reset, or the results will then change based on what you have added in here. Okay, so this one is for your search within results feature. Up next, you then have your court's jurisdiction as well. This would be basically, for example, if you would like to view the cases from the, if you would like to view the most authoritative judgments from any one of these Malaysian courts as well. So let's say, for example, if you want to only view cases from the federal court, just simply click on this particular filter. And from here onwards, you'll be able to view the main contents of it based on, also you can view the list of cases that were held in the federal court. Okay, let me click exit here to show you another feature for the court filtration. You also have the ability to select multiple court levels. So let's say you want to choose the top 2 highest one. Let's say, for example, for the Malaysian Federal Court, you want to also view the Supreme Court, you can do that as well. And just by clicking on OK. And once you have clicked on OK, all of your results will then be changed based on the court levels that you have selected. Okay, so this one is for your court filtration. Another one would be, let me scroll down here. Another one would be for your timeline filtration. This is in the event where you only want to view the most latest cases. What do I mean by that is, let's say, for example, currently it is only being set to cases that were held in 1824 all the way until 2021. But if you are only looking for cases that were held, let's say, 2005, let's say 2001 all the way until 2021, you only want to look for the latest cases in the past 10 years. All you can do is just change, or basically just grab the bar here and adjust it. And that way you can view the most latest cases as per your selection. Other than that, let's say, for example, if you have a date in mind, or if, let's say, for example, you would like to view cases that occurred after a landmark case, what you need to do is basically change the particular date that you want to choose. Let's say you can change the month itself. You can change the particular year that you are looking for. Let's say I just want to look for cases from 2010. Let's say maybe March, and let's say 4th itself. And once you click on OK, the results will then basically change and help you to look for cases that occurred that particular date that you have set to. This is very useful in the event if you want to only look for cases that occurred after a specific landmark case of your choosing. Okay, so this one is, sorry. Does anyone have any questions so far?
No, sir, thank you.
All right, that's good. Okay, so let me see. Right. Okay, so that one would be for your timeline filtration. And last but not least, this one would be much more beneficial to you. This would be for the publication filtration. This is in the event where you would like to look for cases that were specifically held in, let's say, for example, if you want to look for cases that were specifically held in the Sharia courts, you would be basically using this publication here to look for cases that were held in the Sharia law reports. Okay, so this will help you filter out most of your results even more. Or in the event if you would like to look for cases that were held in the Malaysian industrial courts, you can view them here in the industrial law journals. Okay, so let me show you as an example. You only want to look for cases that were held in the Sharia courts based on this particular search terms. And from here onwards, you'll be able to view those cases as well. Okay, so this one is for your publication filter. Okay, another thing before I continue on, I'm sure each and every one of you has already noticed that within this particular result page itself, you have seen that there are various types of symbols over here. So all of these symbols here that we have on Lexis Advanced, these are what we call the case signals. And these case signals basically mean, or these case signals basically show you how subsequent judgments has treated this particular case. So what do I mean by that is, let's say, for example, how would I show you this properly? Okay, I think the better way for me to show you the available case signals that we have, I'll then show you, or I'll move on to what you can do with the document that you have found. So in this example, I'll be using the case of Monudo. Okay, as I've said so before, as you are searching for a case, when you type into the red search box, there will be a drop-down list of suggestions. And if that case is what you're looking for, simply click on it and you can click on search. And immediately you'll be brought to the case document that you are looking for. Okay, and if you would like to view the list of case signals that we have available on Lexis Advanced, you would basically have to, let me show you here, you basically have to click here on the case analysis signal help. Now, to show you this, I would have to stop sharing my screen for a bit, because what happens now is that it will then pop up a new window and you may not be able to view the contents of the pop-up window. Okay, this one. All right, so just to view the available case signals that we have on Lexis Advanced, all you have to do is click on Case Signal Help. A new pop-up window will appear, and then you can click here on Case-Based Signals. So once you've clicked on that, these are the available case signals that we have on Lexis Advanced. So let me run through them. Let me run through them with you very quickly. A red signal basically meaning that the case has already been overruled. A yellow-orange signal basically meaning that the case has been distinguished. A green case signals meaning that the case has been affirmed. Purple meaning that it has only been mentioned in obiter. And last one would be the blue signal. The blue case signal would be that there are no treatments for that particular case as of now. Okay, so these are the 5 available case signals that we have on Lexis Advanced. So let me close this one up and show you back again in a proper full screen. Okay, so now we can go on to the particular area as to what you can do with your case document that you have found. Now, in order to go on to this particular area, so at first, whenever you type in or whenever you click on a particular case name, immediately you'll be brought to the case analysis page. Now, in this case analysis page, basically you'll be able to view the additional details that are linked to this particular case itself. So what I mean by this is you'll be able to view the different types of cases that we're referring to the case of El Menudo. So these are the types of cases that we're referring to El Menudo. And you'll be able to view the list of cases that El Menudo has considered, which is over here. And last but not least, you'll be able to view the list of legislations that were considered by El Menudo as well. Okay, so this is what you can do with the case document that you have found. And if in the event you would like to view the main contents of this particular case, all you have to do is simply click on the case citation. So once you have clicked on the case citation itself, this will be the main contents of the case that you'll be able to view. Now, one thing to note is that first, you will be greeted with the case contents in English. And then afterwards, as you continue to scroll down, you'll be able to view the case document in Bahasa Malaysia. So at least from here, you would be able to have both languages whenever you are conducting your research. Okay, so this one will be for the particular contents over here. Okay, another thing or another feature that is available to you whenever you view a case document. So let's say since you are viewing the case of Alma Noodle, another feature that we have here would be the list of recommended cases. So over here itself, let me see here. So over here itself, you'll be able to view the list of cases, or let's say you'll be able to view similar cases with the similar reasoning, but they were all decided on different facts. And additionally, as you are viewing the list of recommended cases, you will also notice that it also shows the authority of the case law as well. Okay, so this would be for your recommended cases. This would be much more valuable in the event that you would like to compare the main contents of your case with other cases as well. Okay, so that one would be for your recommended cases. Another thing that you can do once you have found the case document that you're looking for, you also have the ability to download the case as well. So what do I mean by this is, let's say, for example, if you were to click here on download document, what you will be downloading would be a court-ready version of this particular case. Let me click over here to show you what I mean. Sorry, this would be the proper court-ready document. So this is what will occur if you were to download the case just by using the download feature on the right-hand side. Okay, so let me go back here again. Just by clicking download document here, this is what you will be greeted with. Okay, so that one will be number one. You can download the case document as well. Number two, another way of downloading the particular case document, you can also do that just by clicking here on the top left-hand corner. So just by clicking download in this area, let me show you first. So by downloading, you can choose whatever format you would like to download the document from. Let's say for your formatting options, you can choose to add the Lexis Nexis logo to make it look much more legitimate. And the moment when you click on download, this is what you will be presented with. So the main difference between the two different download options would be, number one, the first download option, you'll be getting a court-ready version. The second download option, you will be basically downloading what you are seeing on the web page itself. Okay, so these are the two different methods when you want to download your case document. So those are your two different download options, and these are the types of features that are available to you when you are, or what do you call it, they are available to you on what you can do with the case document that you are looking for. Now on to the next area here. Okay, before I move on, does anyone here have any questions so far? You can either type it in the chat box, or you can also unmute yourself to ask your questions. Okay, yeah, now let me continue. If there are no questions, I can move forward. Now, in this next area, I would show you how you can do a legislation search. Now, in regards to legislations, what we at LexisNexis would highly recommend for you to do would be, instead of using the red search box to conduct your legislation search, we would highly recommend you to use the legislation box in the quick find box itself. The reason why we suggest you to do that is, let's say, for example, if you are only looking for a principal act or a main legislation, whenever you type it into the red search box, the results that you will obtain would only be not only be the main act, but you will also get various different versions of the legislation. And this would usually include either sub-legislations, the amendments, the bills, so on and so forth. So which is why if you're only looking for main legislations or the primary legislations, we highly recommend for you to use the quick find box under legislations, and you can continue your search from here onwards. Okay. So that one would be the first step whenever you want to conduct a legislation search. The next step when you want to conduct a legislation search, let me do a legislation example. Let's try a wrong spelling. Okay. As you are typing into the box, as you are typing into the quick find box as well, there will still also be a drop-down list of suggestions for you to choose from. And if there are if none of these suggestions you are looking for are there, you can continue on to type it out as well. Okay, and for this provision number over here, this is a feature where if you only want to look for that particular area or for that particular section, all you basically have to do is type out the section itself, and you can click on search. What happens now is that you would then immediately be brought to that particular section of the document that you are looking for. Now, as I mentioned previously, the semantic parsing capabilities are also affected as well, or they are also in use as well. Again, based on what you have searched for, the AI has color tagged, or the AI has placed a color tagging on your particular search terms as well. Okay, so this is in the event if you would like to search based on just one particular provision. And let me go through here to show you a different example. Let's see. Act 2016. So this will be the example I'll be using if you want to view the main act itself. Okay, and once you are there, you can just click on the main act for you to view the main contents of the legislations. Okay, so this would be the main, this would be the main page of the legislation that you have just searched for. First thing to note is that the legislations will be presented to you in an index format. So what I mean by this is, let's say, for example, if you're only looking for a particular section, this is how to access that particular section is you would have to click on the blue hyperlink. So let me click here just to show you the example. So once you click on the blue hyperlink, this is what you will be presented with. Now, in the event, if this way of researching is a bit too time consuming, that you would have to constantly click on the next page to view the next section, that's okay as well. You don't have to do that. The best way for you to view, or the best way for you to conduct a legislation search, would be that you also have the option to do your legislation search just by downloading a PDF copy of the legislation. So since I have that tab open, this is what you'll be greeted with. Oh, this is a wrong section, and this is a wrong act. Let me click here. Okay, so as you click on download PDF on the right-hand side, this is what you'll be greeted with. And other than viewing all of the contents in their index page format, let me scroll down further. From here onwards, you can then view the contents of your legislations all in one page itself. Sorry, all in their various pages that are available here. So from here onwards, whenever you conduct your legislation search, you'll be able to scroll through to the different provision or to the different sections all in one go. Okay, so this is how you can download your legislations, and this way it will help you to have a much more smoother legislation search. All right, so this one is for your legislations, and let me scroll through here to show you what else are available to you. Other than that, you also have the ability, or you also have the feature as to you'll be able to find the related contents that are available to you in relation to the legislation that you have searched for. Now, this one is a bit, this one has a few smaller amount of examples. I believe the best one that I can do is I can do a different legislation search to show you what I mean. So this is me searching for the Evidence Act itself, just to show you what I mean. And from here onwards, as you can see here on my right-hand side, you'll be able to view the list of related contents that are available to you in relation to the act that you are searching for. Okay, this one would not only be for the bills, sub-legislations, amendments, as well as the related cases and commentaries. So these are the different, how do you call it? This is what you can do with the legislation document that you are looking for. Another way of searching for a legislation document, instead of, let's say, for example, in a situation where you want to conduct your research, but you do not know what type of legislation you want to search for, that's okay as well. If you do not know a legislation's name, you don't necessarily need to use the quick find box. You can use the red box over here, and you would have to type out this particular keyword. Yeah, so please take note. As you type in this particular keyword into the red search box, which is table of content, the drop-down box would then appear, which would then show you the list of statutes or the list of legislations that are available to you in the whole of Malaysia, as well as Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, so let me click here to show you the list or the full list of Malaysian legislation. And this would be the main page that you will be greeted with once you have clicked on it. So first things first, you'll be able to view a list of legislations based on their subject matter. If you already know the title of the legislation, you can view it by their title name as well. If you know the act number, you can search it through here. And if you already know which year that particular legislation has been released or has been created, you can then choose the particular year as well. So let me show you about our latest ones that we have obtained in 2020. So from here onwards, you'll be able to view the list of legislations that were created in 2020. Okay, so this one will be by year. I think the best example I can give you, or the best example I can show you, would be you can also conduct your searches based on their subject matter. And from here onwards, this will be the list of subject matters. Let's see what would be a better example to show you. Maybe this one here. So just by clicking on this particular subject matter, you can then view the list of legislations that are in relation to that subject matter that you have clicked on earlier. Okay, so from here onwards, this will be in the event if you do not know where to start your legislation research. Okay, let me click here. So just to recap, if you would like to browse the entirety of the Malaysian legislation, but you do not know where to begin, you can then simply just type in the keyword table of content into the red search box. And from here onwards, you can then browse the entirety of the Malaysian legislations just by clicking here. Okay, one final thing to note is that all of the legislations that are available on Lexis Advance, each and every one of the legislations, sorry, I believe I got cut out there for a bit. So as I was saying before, each and every one of the legislations that are available on Lexis Advance, they are only available in English. And there are no legislations on Lexis Advance that are available in Bahasa Malaysia. So whenever you conduct your legislation search, they will only be in English. Okay, so that's one thing to note about the legislations that are available on Lexis Advance. Another thing to note, or this would be, now we will be going to the other areas as to that are available to you as per your subscription. Okay, as I mentioned it in the beginning, every one of the contents here on my publications tab, these are all provided to me by my company account. So if, for example, as per your subscription, the only things that are available to you are the annotated and the Halsbury's Laws of Malaysia. Okay, so from here onwards, let me show you what I mean. So if you would like to view the annotated statutes of Malaysia, all you have to do is click on this arrow here. And from there onwards, you'll be able to view the main content itself. Now, a brief summary for the annotated statutes of Malaysia, these are all known as commentaries. So the amount of commentaries that we have for all of the legislations here would be 155 legislative commentaries. Okay, so what I mean by this is that, let's say, for example, what would be a good example to choose from? Okay, I believe this one would be a good example to click on. So let's say if you would like to review the commentaries of this particular legislation, from here onwards, you can click Table of Contents. And from here itself, let's see here. Yep. Okay, so as over here, you can then view the main contents of the legislation itself, or you can then view the commentaries of that particular legislation. Okay, so this one would be it. Let me click here, maybe to show you what I mean by commentaries. Okay, so since we are only looking at section 6 itself, so this will be the main contents in section 6. And then over here below, this would be the commentaries for that particular section. So this would then basically help you to understand better in regards to the particular section that you have clicked on. All right, so this is for your annotated statutes of Malaysia. Go back up to the top. As for your other access would be the Halsbury's Laws of Malaysia. This particular content here itself is basically like, how would I put it? The best way to explain it would be, it is like an encyclopedia. And it mostly discusses, or it mostly contains the commentaries of the particular subject matter as a whole. Okay, let me see what would be a better example. Probably this one, maybe. So you can view table of contents. And from here onwards, you'll be able to view the particular commentary of that particular subject matter. Okay, this is the main usage for your Halsbury's Laws of Malaysia subscription. All right. Another thing that you can do, let's say, for example, if in the situation that you would like to view the main contents of your publication, let's say, since to view the main contents would be a bit difficult just by scrolling all the way down to view what type of content that you want to look for, a better way, or the easiest way for you to do so, would be that you also have the ability to browse the main content itself. So let's say, for example, you can click on Browse, Publication, content type, and let's say, for example, this would be for secondary materials. And from here onwards, you'll be able to view all of the list of, let's say for the annotated statutes of Malaysia, you'll be able to view the entire content of it all in a single page itself. Okay, so this will be how you'll be able to view the main contents of it. And if you only like to view one particular legislation, or sorry, if you only want to view one particular annotated statute, you can also click here to narrow down your search as well. All right, the same thing goes for your Horseberry's Laws of Malaysia. That will be under H. And you can also view all of the particular contents, or sorry, you can also view all of the particular commentaries of these particular subject matters as well. Okay, so this is what you can do, or this is how you'll be able to view. Final recap, if you want to view or if you want to access this particular page, simply click on Browse, Publications, Content Type, and then Secondary Materials. Okay, so this is how you'll be able to access to view the additional publications that are available to you. And last but not least, you can also turn Lexis Advance into a, what would be the proper word, legal dictionary. So what do I mean by this is, let's say, for example, if you would like to find the definition of a particular word that was properly defined in a particular legislation, all you have to do is under Quick Find box, click on Define Terms, Legislative Definitions, and from here onwards, you can click on, and from here onwards, you can type in the particular word that you are specifically looking for. So let's say, for example, I want to look for the definition of the word director and how is the word director defined in Malaysian legislation. You can click on search. And from here onwards, what I'll be presented with would be the list of different legislations and how these legislations has interpreted the word director. Okay, now in the event, if you already have a legislation in mind, let's say, for example, if you're only looking for one particular legislation and how that legislation has defined the particular word that you're looking for, this is how you'll be able to do it. Let me click back to the main page. So under Define Terms, and as you can see here, Advanced Search, you can then click here on Legislation. So from here onwards, it will then lead you to the Advanced Search page itself. Over here, you can type in all of the particular details that you would like to include in your search. So let's say, for example, Define Terms, this time I would like to choose qualified persons. And then for the legislation, I would like to find it in the Legal Professions Act of 1976. And I can click on search. And from here onwards, I will then be greeted with the particular result that I am looking for. So once I click on the results, and to find that particular page that I'm looking for, I can also use this particular highlight bar itself to bring me to where I want to find it. And this will be where you'll be greeted with, or this is what you'll be presented with based on your search parameters. Okay, and this is how you'll be able to use Lexis Advance as a legal dictionary. Okay, so other than that, that should be it in regards to your Lexis Advance access. Okay, and that would conclude our session for today. Before I end the particular session, does anyone else here have any questions with regards to conducting a legal research on Lexis Advance? You
No,
can
sir.
also, yes,
So
hello.
far, it's clear. Yeah, thank you. So far,
So
everything is clear. Thank you.
so far nothing else. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, no worries at all. Okay, so what I'm gonna do afterwards is that at the end of this session, I will be providing your librarian the what's the proper word for this? The guide or a user guide as to how you can conduct your own searches on Lexis Advanced. So this user guide will basically help you, or it will help your other colleagues or help your other classmates, to those who did not attend or not. And I would also try to attach the recording of this session to your coordinator as well. Yeah. Okay. And if any one of you have any questions, this would be my email address in the chat box. Okay. So this would be my email address. I have now entered it into the chat box. If any one of you have any questions, you can easily email me those particular questions with regards to the Nexis Advanced platform. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to join the session. I hope the particular session is beneficial and helpful to each and every one of you. All right, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys
Welcome.
next time again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.